Although most of the auction invoices will be generated automatically, there are instances where there's a need to create invoices manually. Let's take a look at how to do that. In this situation, the bidder here, the buyer, Josh Stillhouse, has already made a payment, and we want to generate a completely new invoice for them that will have some items that were not accounted for at the auction. To do that, we are going to need the user's user ID. And to get that information, we can either press the question mark here and go to their account. The user ID number is available in their account. We can also edit one of their existing invoices and select the adjust invoice details up in the top right-hand corner. That will have the user ID number. And you'll need to copy that number wherever you find it in order to create a new invoice and assign it to that user ID. I'm going to press the return to report option here. Now, it's not necessary to have the user ID in order to create a new invoice. However, if you'd like to assign that invoice to an existing user, you will need that user ID number. Now, in the invoice links menu, there's an option to choose that you can choose that says new invoice. Press that link to create a new invoice. Now, this is a blank invoice. It's not assigned to anyone and there aren't any items on it, but let's go ahead and make some changes. So the first thing we want to do is adjust the invoice details. Now, if there is not a user ID, if we're just selling something to someone and keeping track of it, we can enter the buyer details in this box right here. For example, something like that. However, if we know the user ID, as we do in this case, we'll want to paste that in the user ID field. And as you can see, that user's name and company information and address is displayed in the buyer details field. And now we can save this. The invoice now is assigned to the buyer. It has their information on the invoice, and we need to add some new line items. So we can add a new line item. For example, if you put a lot number, by the way, in the new line item, then all of these fields will become available. If you don't assign a lot number, then then it just allows you to specify an amount. In this case, that we actually want to keep track of some information about the new line item. So I'm going to put some location information in here. Not all of these fields are required, but we're going to go ahead and inherit the premium and the tax rate from the auction and add this to the invoice. Now we see we've got it all taxed. The invoice has been calculated. If that's all that we need to do, we can either go ahead and add a payment or email the invoice to the buyer. And that's all there is to creating a new auction invoice manually. Thanks for watching.